Good evening and welcome to This Week in 23 Sports.
It was an exciting 7 days in Mizzou sports. We'll recap the action and give you a look to what's next.
All this to come.
Welcome to This Week in 23 Sports, your premier University of Missouri sports update show. Now your hosts, Jack McGrath and Kaylor Smith.
The Mizzou soccer team lost to Tennessee by a score of 2-1 on Friday. Tennessee scored goals in the 44th minute and the 70th minute, with Missouri unable to get the equalizer after scoring in the 78th minute.
Zoe Cross scored the Tigers' lone goal, which was her first of the year. Missouri outshot Tennessee in the match, 20-8 in shots, but unable to make the most of their opportunities, highlighted by a miss by Grace Kitts, a penalty miss in the 56th minute.
Yeah, and Isabella Alessio was back in the net as the starting keeper after McKenna Sheehan started against Vanderbilt. Mizzou rosters 4 keepers, and so far Alessio has started 2 games compared to Sheehan's 1. It'll be interesting to see who coach picks from here on out.
Exactly, especially after Sheehan was in goal for Mizzou's only win of the year. Speaking of Blitz, though, and the rest of the season, which we were talking about, Missouri travels to Baton Rouge to take on LSU this weekend, where Coach Blitz can pick up the 250th win of his career. Huge milestone for him. We'll have more on that game when we get to what's happening in Mizzou sports a little later on.
That's right, and Mizzou volleyball was set to kick off their season October 18th, but that game has been postponed to, you guessed it, positive COVID cases. With the season starting soon, though, Haley McCormick has a preview of the team.
This fall, the SEC 2020 volleyball season will consist of a season running October 16th through November 27th. Each team will be playing 6 weeks of competition, competing against 4 opponents, playing the same opponent twice in the same weekend, coming in with 8 total matches on the season. The SEC announced in July that if student athletes in all sports choose not to participate in intercollegiate athletics during the fall 2020 season because of concerns related to COVID-19, the university will continue to have their scholarship honored and remain in good standing with their team. The Tigers will welcome sophomore transfer from Kansas State University and 2019 USA Volleyball Women's Junior National Team player Anna Dixon. Dixon's 6'3" presence on the court this year is a great asset for the Tigers and will be starting against Alabama for the first game of the season. The Tigers will start up their fall 2020 schedule on the road at Alabama Wednesday, October 21st at 6 p.m. through Thursday, October 22nd at 8:30 p.m. A short 2 weeks later, Mizzou will be taking on Kentucky for their home opener October 28th through the 29th. The Hearn Center is only allowing 18% capacity for sections A and B, but hopes to expand as the season progresses. The Tigers will be posting more updates on the season, players, and all things Mizzou volleyball on their Instagram and Twitter pages, which can be found at the handle MizzouVB. This has been Haley McCormick for MU23 Sports.
Hopefully Mizzou volleyball can find some of that magic they had last season, and with the new transfer Anna Dixon. Funny story, I actually played against her in high school. She's a great athlete, so hopefully that'll be a great addition to the team.
I'd imagine that was some pretty tough competition going up against a D1 volleyball player there. Looking at the stories of the week, though, defending national champion LSU came to town, and the Missouri Tigers upset them this weekend. Mark Poland has more on the game.
This past weekend, Mizzou played host to the reigning national champion LSU Tigers. Redshirt freshman Connor Bazelak got the start for the Tigers and did not disappoint. Here in Mizzou's first drive, a little trickery, a handoff to Larry Roundtree. Back to Bazelak, who finds Towski Dove for a 58-yard score. It was a back-and-forth game through much of the first half, with the score being tied 24 going into the break. LSU received a second-half kick, went down and scored, but Mizzou responded. Here, another Bazelak dime, this time the former quarterback Michael Wilson, who was all alone in the end zone, knocks the game back up at 31. One of the bigger plays of the game came for freshman Chance Looper, who is the son of Mizzou offensive coordinator Curtis Looper. Looper caught a crossing route around the Mizzou 40-yard line, turned upfield and scampered all the way down to the 6-yard line, which led to another Bazelak touchdown, this time to Nico Hay, which gave Mizzou its first lead since the opening drive of the game. LSU drove all the way down to the Mizzou 1-yard line with 4 opportunities to win the game on 4th down. Here's Miles Brennan rolling to his right looking for Terrace Marshall, but the pass is broken up by safety Josh Bledsoe. By far the biggest play of the game, a big win for Coach Drink and the Mizzou Tigers as they improved to 1-2 on the young season.
What What an exciting game for the Tigers. I actually happened to be downtown in Columbia when we won, listening to it in my car on the radio. Stepped out of my car as soon as the game was over. The entire city was just erupted. Just what a magical time to be in Columbia.
Yeah, and I was actually at the game, lucky enough to be there, and a similar atmosphere. Not a full stadium, but still a bunch of excited fans.
Like it, I bet.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It was a super fun game to be at. And speaking of that game, there were some great plays in that game. So let's count down our favorites with our top 3 plays of the week.
Goal on the 1. Under a minute, LSU needs a touchdown to take the lead for the game. They are stuffed at the 1-yard line. This would be the start of a very interesting finish to the game for the Tigers. But which Tigers?
At number 2, 3rd down, and Nick Bolton says, "Not in my house," as he swats the pass down. We saw a shot of Coach O clapping there before, looking a little concerned there. Tigers on the ropes.
Now 4th down, our top play of the week, LSU to the goal line for the go-ahead score. Game on the line, quarterback Miles Brennan tries to find Terrace Marshall in the end zone, but Joshua Bledsoe also says no to that, bats down the pass, and that would be the final play of the defensive stop to give Mizzou the win. And that's your top plays this week.
And finally, we're going to bring you what's happening next in Missouri sports as we cut to our What's Happening This Week segment. First up, Mizzou soccer. I said earlier they were going to LSU. Correction there. LSU is actually coming to Columbia. Mizzou soccer versus LSU is happening on Friday, 7 p.m. You can catch that game on SEC Network Plus.
And that is also their senior night, so big night for the Tigers. Also, we have Mizzou cross country tomorrow night at home. That time is to be determined, but they'll be taking on some SEC opponents at home tomorrow.
And also on Friday, Mizzou swim and dive is going up against TCU. That one happens on Friday morning. You can also catch that one on SEC Network Plus.
And that will be here at the Aquatic Center at Mizzou. Moving on to next week, we have women's golf traveling to Mississippi State for a 3-day affair in Mississippi State. That will finish up on Wednesday next week. Time and streaming to be determined.
And then through the weekend, from the 21st to the 25th, tennis is going to Arkansas to play there.
And then finishing out and starting with their big season opener against Alabama, we have Mizzou volleyball Wednesday and Thursday, the 21st and 22nd. That Wednesday game will be at 6 p.m. The Thursday game will be at 8 p.m. The Wednesday game will be on SEC Network Plus, and Thursday will be on SEC Network. So that will be an interesting start to the season. Hope to see the ladies have a good turnout there and a good start to their season.
Yeah, and
before coming back here and playing Kentucky.
Exactly. We were supposed to see a football game this weekend, but the Missouri football game versus Vanderbilt, which was supposed to be the homecoming game, postponed until December at the moment. That's where it's scheduled at after some positive COVID cases on the Vanderbilt side. But other than that, that's what's happening this week in Missouri sports.
Yeah, definitely another heartbreaker for Mizzou students here. Mizzou seniors especially, our heart goes out to them as they're not getting their homecoming. We'll be home for Christmas break by the time the game comes around. So hopefully we can still get a good turnout in December, but, you know, safety first.
It'll be a little bit of a chillier homecoming than usual. But hey, last year was pretty cold anyway, so
yeah, it was.
It works out.
Well, that is all we have for you this week. Thank you for sticking with us.
Yeah, and we'll catch you back here next Thursday. For now, I am Jack McGrath along with Taylor Smith, and stay safe, Tigers.